why people like to work out. You're not breaking anything. I feel some pain in there and it really helps. All right guys, I'm excited to talk to you today about 10 ways that skateboarding can boost your fitness. Skateboarding, tough to call it a sport, it's a lifestyle, it's just freedom of expression. You can do so many cool, fun things on this, but it is also an incredibly good workout and it's incredibly healthy. And I like the idea of skateboarding, using skateboarding specifically as fitness, because if you get really into it, you are just gonna be focusing on the trick that you're trying to learn, not like working out, and it's not gonna be as boring as just like sitting there doing sit-ups or push-ups or whatever else there is. So let's get into it. This is 10 ways that skateboarding can boost your fitness. And guess what? You don't even need a gym. You don't need anything. You just need a skateboard and some flat ground. Okay, so right off the bat, it's the cardio. You are gonna be pushing around and rolling and pushing and rolling and pushing some more. And whether you're at the skate park or around town, you can just do laps and you can just go around and around. And then when you start learning tricks, now you're getting even more. And if you think this isn't a workout, think again. You're just rolling, doing all kinds of tricks, toss your board. Of course, when you very first start, you're just gonna be pushing. If you are just starting out, I highly, highly, highly recommend the free digital download, Skateboarding Made Simple Volume 0, which is absolutely free, and it takes you through all of the beginner steps so you know how to ride this board. You can push, you can roll, and you can start in on your skateboarding fitness journey. Is that a thing? Well, it is a thing now. So that's one. The cardio in skateboarding is really, really, really good. You're gonna be sweating, your heart's gonna be pumping, and you're gonna be going through it because you're pushing everywhere, right? Woo! Even just a warm up, I should probably do my regular warm up. Give it some ollies. I'm like, okay, I'm too old for this. I had enough cardio for today. I'm just kidding. Okay, so that's number one, the cardio. Number two, core strength. So because your core right in here is such a central element of skateboarding, you're constantly like moving around like this. I highly recommend also just stretching before you skateboard, doing some dynamic stretches like this. But as you're skateboarding, your core, which is the central point of your balance, which skateboarding has a lot to do with balance. So your core is constantly getting worked out. Are you gonna get some like rippling six pack from it? No, probably not. But your core is definitely gonna get worked out in the best way possible. So when you're doing the tricks, like let's say you learn the ollie, and then you go from that to the frontside 180, and then you have to toss the head and shoulders. And look at that motion there. Core, it's all in the core. Boom. And then just your balance, because you're constantly balancing on your board, whether it's going this way, that way, that way, or that way, there's this constant equilibrium that needs to occur on the balance. So there are some exercises you can do to get better at this, but honestly, and the whole point of this video is just the more that you skateboard, the better you're gonna be in shape, the better your body's going to feel, and it's honestly super healthy. So some exercises are close your eyes, go in one foot. Yee! It's funny because this foot I broke and I had to get surgery, 2 screws in my foot, and then this foot I sprained my ankle. So right now I'm a little weak on both feet. If I was doing these exercises every day and doing all the proper physio and cardio like this, I'll get back to strength a lot faster. So when I'm not skateboarding, I don't feel any pain in my ankle or my foot at all. But then when I skateboard, because I'm using muscles I wouldn't normally use, like stretching my foot like that, I do feel it. It stretches those muscles and I feel some pain in there, which is fascinating. Just goes to show you that if I wasn't riding this skateboard, my body would not be going through the motions that would be working it out, which is a good thing that you can understand when how it helps you in your core muscles, right? Number 3, it's your leg strength. So your legs are basically working full time. Whether you're skating flat and you're doing ollies or you're going around anywhere, it is leg day every day. Every day you ride your skateboard, it's leg day. And the funny thing about it is when you first start and you really get to learning tricks, you're probably gonna have some days when you're really sore. In fact, when I'm trying like a really, really, really hard trick and I'm just going for it, I completely obliterate my body, and then the next day I'm literally like can barely walk because my legs are are so sore. I personally feel like there's no better feeling, and it makes me understand why people like to work out. And it's funny because there's even a lot of professional skateboarders that move from skateboarding to fitness, and they go to hit the weights and they work out and they get huge. There's something about that feeling of like, oh, you just wreck your body and you went through a lot of physical effort and motion, and the next day you can't move, and you're like, there's a sense of accomplishment, pride. But back to leg day every day. Okay, so you're pushing, you're getting your cardio, but then also check out this. Check out all the muscles that are working here. Bending down, jumping up, raising your legs into the air. It is a full-blown workout. The other thing that I think is so cool about it is not only are you getting a workout, but you're learning the intricacies of how to move this board, and it looks so cool, and it is actually just so fun. It's funny, there's this, Derek, look. That is one thing I did not want to see today. Where was that? Oh yeah, there was this professional vert skater who told me this story. So in skating vert, you're like on this giant ramp and you're going up and down, and then when you fall, you lose your board. You have to grab your board and you have to walk up the stairs. And it's generally about 20 stairs, right? And you're skating a long time, so every time you fall off your board, you're walking up 20 stairs. So the skater is with this professional guy who just works out, and he's like, let's go on the Stairmaster and I'm gonna completely destroy you. And then the one guy's on the Stairmaster and the skater, and the guy who's like the professional workout dude is like dying. His legs are burning, he cannot go any longer. And then the skater's like, what are you talking about? We're just getting started. Because he is used to walking up 20 stairs a lot of times every day. And it's interesting because that skater's not even focused about, oh, I'm working out my legs, let me work this out. He's just going, I want to land this trick. All of his attention is on landing that trick, and he's just walking up the stairs to give it another try. So it's kind of cool because you can just be focused on learning this thing, but the thing that you get on the side of it is a fit, healthy body that is in shape. It helps so much. You learn a kickflip?
I used to skate, not anymore though.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I used to, can I get a picture?
Yeah, of course.
Can
Go
you
ahead.
take it from me?
Yeah.
Okay, should I have them with you? Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Nice meeting you too. Number 4, balance and coordination. Now we covered the balance a little bit in the core strength section. Basically, you're just always balancing, especially when you start learning more tricks and you start getting into things like manuals, and I'll show you that. So manual is when you're balancing on 2 wheels instead of 4, and you're holding it like that. And you can just feel those core muscles working, and you're just constantly working on your balance, right? It's funny because I do tons of manuals. I love manuals. My item in skateboarding is manuals. But I never really think about, oh, that's really working my core. But when I think about, let me strengthen my body to skateboard better, that's a whole different world, right? Then yes, I always do work on my core. Good, so the next one is the coordination. Skateboarding has a lot of intricate details. You're gonna pop here, you're gonna flick there, board is gonna spin, then you're gonna catch it with your back foot, then you're gonna land. To do a kickflip, you've got to be coordinated. If you're uncoordinated, you will get coordinated through the process of learning how to ride this. And that is cool, that's a very healthy thing to do. Coordination will help you with a lot of different things in life. So let's see right off the bat how coordinated you are right now. Aaron Cairo, can you land a kickflip first try with a phone in your pocket? Yay! Not a good kickflip, but we did it. So that's number 4, balance and coordination. Number 5, flexibility. So just through the process of skateboarding, you are gonna be rolling. Sometimes you're gonna fall and you're gonna have one leg stretch out more. Sometimes you're going to tumble down and you're just going to be moving your body, throwing it around, and you are going to be, because you are using those muscles, stretching them out even more. But one thing that I highly suggest for all skaters is do dynamic stretching before you start. Like this. Any of these guys. You're moving the hips, the shoulders, the elbows. You can do some kicks like that and really just feel the motion in there. And you're doing dynamic stretching. You're getting those muscles stretched out. And then after you skate and your muscles are really warmed up, you never want to do this before, but afterwards, your muscles are warmed up, they've been stretched out, then you're gonna do some static stretches like this. One thing I personally need to do way more is I need to stretch. I need to stretch a lot more than I do right now. That is for sure. I think what I'm gonna spend this summer working on is learning more tricks so I can teach you guys more tricks, and also learning more about fitness and stretching so that I can teach you guys more and develop an actual strategy so that we can take your fitness level to the next game through skateboarding. You see, I should be able to touch my toes. The length of time I've been skateboarding, I should be able to touch those toes, and I can't. So that's something I need to work on, and that really greatly improves my health, my overall health and well-being. Another thing that it does is it's injury prevention. So when I sprained my ankle, I went like that, right? So if I had stretched my ankle out so well and grown those muscles to be so strong, it's likely that I could have prevented the injury entirely. I have done that before, it's taken work, but you can get to a point where your knees, through working them out, just become rock solid. Your ankles become rock solid. It's kind of an interesting flow to go. Are you skateboarding to get fit, or are you trying to get fit in order to skateboard? So today we're talking about skateboard to get fit. Let's go. Number 6. Agility and reflexes. So as a skateboarder, you have to be able to act fast. Your reaction time needs to be split second. When you're doing a trick, if it's not looking right, you need to be able to kick away and get out of there. If the board catches like this and you know you're about to land like that and just tumble, you have to A, act fast enough to kick it away so you don't land on it, or B, if you do land on it like that and you begin to fall, you need to act fast enough so that you can roll through that. This is the secret to falling on skateboards and not getting hurt. If you're rolling forward, you want your forward momentum to roll. You don't want to stick out your hand and fall with all of your weight. So you gotta imagine, however much you weigh, 180 pounds or whatever it is, all of that weight and pressure is gonna go to one joint, one specific place, boom, and you just broke your wrist. Or there, and you just broke your arm. So you gotta watch out for that. So through skateboarding, it teaches you, you have got to gain that ability, that fast reaction time where you can go down and just let it roll. If your momentum is going forward and you hit the ground and you just roll on the ground, you're not breaking anything. You might get a bruise. You probably won't even get a bruise if you do it correctly, and you just roll. And that's good. So it teaches you that. So the more you skateboard, you're gonna have these things happen, and you will just develop that skill through time and through effort. That's just how it goes. Number 7, joint and stabilizer strength. So proper form on a skateboard will look very specifically in a very exact way. And you're gonna develop that through a lot of practice, tutorials, training, and more practice. The only way to actually learn how to skateboard is to get out there and hit trial and error and trial and error. I do recommend watching tutorial videos so you understand what to do. And then when you get out there and you're mid your trial and error, if you're having a struggle, pull up a video and it'll help you. But your joint stability, especially for things like when we get into manuals. And now my knees and my ankles have to be strong in order to do that. So if I was to strengthen my ankles and my knees, it would help with that. But the more you skateboard, the more you do manuals, the more you're strengthening your knees and ankles. And you learn to develop these muscles, especially you get into like more advanced tricks like manual pivots. Man, your ankles and your knees are going to get so strong. But just imagine the effort that it goes through to just pop an ollie. And what's occurring inside that ankle with those bones and the muscles and the tendons, pulling, stretching, popping, jumping, you are strengthening all of those. So you can't just be like, oh, skateboarding, that's some cardio, yeah. No, it's really good for those, and it really helps. Number 8, mental focus. Especially when you're trying a trick that you've never landed before, you've got to literally focus your mind so clear onto that landing. You have to be able to visualize what it's going to look like when you land it, how it's going to feel in order to do it. So you might be struggling just repeatedly over and over, slamming down on the ground trying to land that trick to get your feet just right. This is going to develop a very strong mental focus. But this one, I could write a whole book on this. It's more than just your mental focus. It also teaches you the ability to keep going despite any and all obstacles. Especially like your very first kickflip. Going from 0 on a skateboard to landing one of these is very difficult. It's difficult physically, it's difficult mentally. You have to push past barriers of fear. You have to be able to be like, okay, I trust myself enough. Because a lot of times people will get this flick down so well, and then their feet are right there, and then they go, no. You have to learn to trust yourself. And this requires mental focus, which skateboarding will give you, especially if you go out every single day and spend 10 to 20 minutes riding this thing. I will develop a very specific exact series of motions that you guys will do. You can watch my daily skateboard lesson series or the boot camp series, and this will take you through what to do every single day, including the stretches. And by doing that, you will develop that mental focus very, very good. Number 9, calorie burning. I don't think we are super into counting calories. I know I'm not. I have downloaded apps before and been like, okay, let's see what my calories are. But honestly, if you are just skating really hard, and especially if you skate every day, even for the 10 to 20 minutes, for an hour of skating, you're burning 300 to 500 calories, depending on how hard you go. If you just go out and you just do a couple tricks, and you're like, I'm over it, then yeah, you didn't burn many calories. But especially if you get into this mode, where you're trying to learn a new trick and it takes you repeated over and over and over because you're trying to learn it, you have that repetition, you're gonna be burning the 300 to 500 calories, trust me. And the 10 minutes you thought you were gonna spend is gonna turn into an hour of frustration trying to land this trick. And hopefully you do land it, but even if you don't, you still got that workout, burned those calories, made your body healthier, stronger, more fit, and there's a bonus even to that. Number 10, and quite possibly the most important way that this is gonna help on your fitness journey, is it's a stress reliever. You can go to work and you can be like super stressed out, and then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, it's time to de-stress. Now I'm gonna take this board and I'm gonna go out and I'm just gonna cruise. As a stress reliever, this is great. You know, sometimes, even if you're really angry or frustrated, you might want to learn a new trick and then go through the motions of learning that. And honestly, whether you learn it or not, you've seen some videos of people like raging. They're like, they throw their boards, no! And you think, oh man, he's so upset. But honestly, even that is a stress reliever. You might think, oh, he's so stressed out, he can't learn that trick and he's throwing his board. But seriously, even that helps so much because you can let it out. You can let the tension out. You can be like, ah! Have you guys seen some of those videos like of me trying to learn a trick that's really scary for me and I have to go through the motions and repeat it and then be like, ah! It's a stress reliever. And even whether I land that trick or not, I highly recommend always ending that session on some improvement. Maybe you didn't fully land, maybe you're working on kickflips, maybe you didn't fully land it, but maybe you took it from this all the way to the point where you can make the board go like this. You still didn't land it, one foot's on the ground, one foot's on the board, but you improved. And you have to understand that that improvement is important. And if you were to just improve every single day, in 6 months' time, you would be unrecognizable from where you were prior. So I hope this video helped you guys. I hope it gave you some idea. Use skateboarding to get fit. You can get comfortable, you can feel good, you can lose weight, anything you want to do. I guess not anything you want to do, but skateboarding is really, really healthy, both physically and mentally, and it's really good for you. So spend the time every day riding the board. I'm making as many videos as possible to teach you guys how to do the skateboard tricks and anything around skateboarding that I can do to help get brand new people started in on riding this sport, activity, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, that we all know and love. It's all about getting new people started. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment below, and you, yes you, learn to ride a skateboard. We got everything you need at BrailleSkateboarding.com.